What's up, everybody? My name's Elijah. This is going to be the beginning of a new YouTube channel based around cars. Me and my buddy, we're in the middle of starting to rebuild an old car, and I'm going to try and make a series to follow along in the build and show everybody the progress and hopefully help somebody out who's maybe restoring an old car like this. And it'll be cool and fun, and hopefully you guys like it and follow along. Go ahead and head in the shop, show you guys around. So what we got, guys, 57 Lincoln Premier 4-door, and it's, I believe that's, you call it Lando, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a special edition. My buddy bought this car off of somebody he works with. It's been sitting in a garage for about 20 years, sitting in a pole barn, kind of out of the elements, but not out of nature in a way. Kind of weird saying it that way, but it was out of rain and weather, but there's critters that got into it. And you see it's not completely, rust free, but it's a lot better than most cars up here in Illinois. And for the price we got it, I think it's a really good project, and it's got a lot of work to be done. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and learning. This is the motor. We already pulled the motor out of it. You see, we've already done some work to it. But this is the motor. It's a 368. It is the original motor in it. And it's got a 4-speed automatic transmission. But 468 is the same cubic inches as a 6-liter. So it's a 6-liter Ford product. Pretty cool, I think. I haven't torn a motor this old apart before, so it'll be a learning experience for me with all the old technology on it. But for how old this thing is, that's not water, by the way, that's WD-40. The cylinders are kind of locked up. We're trying to get it to loosen up. But cool thing about this car is it has a lot of technology that you would see on a car today that you wouldn't think they'd have in 57. So for example, it's got power windows. I'm trying to open the door here. Make sure we don't geek anything up. But it's got power windows. See, this is the handle, but it's just got a button like a normal, which it's stuck. But maybe this is the door lock. Whatever. It's got power windows. It's got a 4-wheel power seat. The interior stuff is in the bathroom area. Locked it in there because it smells like pee. Smells like we had a bunch of squirrels inhabiting this car for the past 20 years, and it smells a lot better in the car, but the seats are done for. They're pretty gross. The battery box for this car is up under the dash, underneath the carpet, which I think is kind of interesting because I bet it was a pain in the butt to get to change back in the day. It's got climate control. I think those are the window switches, actually. But it's got all these fancy dash instruments. It's pretty cool. It's got interior lights, headlights, all that. Headlights are down there on the floor, but it's got all kinds of cool features with air conditioning and weird stuff that a normal car back then didn't have. You can see the air ducts back there behind the headrests. Behind that Sprite can, that's not ours. And that box back there is actually the rear AC unit. I don't know if it's a compressor or what exactly the function is of it, but it's pretty good rust-wise in the floor. You can tell it's a little rusty there, and there's a hole right there, but that's the only hole in the whole car from rust that I've found so far, and we've looked over it pretty well, but that's the only thing we've seen. Yeah, let's try and not geek the door up. Car is absolutely massive. It's 20 foot long, legitimately, and it takes up a lot of space for sure. I think our plans with the car, I think we've been convinced to redo the pink You can't really tell with the camera, but it is like a real pale pink. You can kind of see it down at the end down there. Don't mind all the oil on the floor. We'll clean that up too. But it's this real pale pink color. And originally we were like, let's do a kind of a lowrider theme with it and go with, black it with a red metallic roof. But after talking to people and having conversations, we're kind of like, well, we could put it back to pink and it would still match the original color and be a little bit more desirable being the original color. So we're still gonna make a lowrider. So plans are to put them on bags and then slam it to the ground, put on some nice wheels, probably get white walls for it again. And then we're gonna do pink, and then the roof and the fenders probably out to here and back all the way down the fenders and the trunk. Basically this whole back quarter section is gonna be like a pearl white color. And I think, me being a paint guy, I think I'm gonna do metal flake under the pearl, which will make it really, really sparkly. It'll look insane. You'll see. We'll show you. It's gonna look crazy though. This thing was a pain in the butt to get apart so far. The motor has way too many things attached to it. Let me see how many wires this car has. And it's kind of irritating because you get into a car this old and you're like, oh, this is going to be simple, easy. They don't have all the computers and stuff they do now. But it's kind of simpler, but more complicated in a way because very few people probably have actually done it and redone these and all the wiring, how it works and all that. And the aftermarket parts for this car are basically non-existent. I mean, you can always redo the chrome and find wheels and stuff, but the actual body panels and the chrome, if you need it, all the chrome is on this car. Well, it's not on the car anymore, but we have all the chrome, which is pretty rare, I think, to have all the chrome to one of these cars that's this old. By the time it gets to somebody, it's already been halfway taken apart, or someone's kind of gotten into the idea of redoing it, so it's already been messed with. But it's pretty good. We have all the chrome. It's pretty straight. The only real body work that's going to need done to it, you can see where we've been sanding already, is this crease back here. It's pretty significant. Bowed it in pretty good. I don't know how the heck they hit it, however they hit it, but we'll be able to get that out. I think we'll be able to hit it with a hammer for a while and most of it will come out. We already took all these parts apart. Don't mind the head sitting on the ground like that. They're going to get redone. I don't like them sitting on the ground like that. You can tell I did not put them over here. Oh yeah. Good old cast iron heads. Weigh a ton. Little valve covers are cool. They're gold and they got green and orange on them. Those look pretty sweet, I think. We're going to redo that same gold and green with the orange. It's going to look good. Get new radiator, exhaust, all that. There's the front bumper. Looks pretty cool. It's massive. Got the turn signals in it. The old carburetor, wheels. Old carburetor. Made by Carburetor. Pretty cool. A lot of old parts. A lot of cool stuff. There's a hood. It's got a hood ornament. Pretty cool looking. It says Lincoln across the front. But yeah, we're gonna be putting a lot of hours in this car. It's gonna go through a lot of changes. Probably redo mostly all of it. I think I'm gonna paint the engine bay black, make it simpler, make it nice and clean looking. Yeah, not much cutting needs to be done. Fix the rust. So pretty minimum on the body work that's really gonna need done to it. We're gonna cut it. We're gonna get down all the old paint. This old paint takes a while to get off, but we haven't really spent much time on it. But we're gonna get down the metal, redo it. It's gonna be slick. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be the coolest pink car you've ever seen in your life. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So hopefully everybody likes the series. You'll follow along and like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if that's still a thing. And you'll be able to, you'll know whenever we put a new video out. And you'll be able to follow along with the project. And if you got one of your own, if you're redoing a Lincoln or an old car like this, I mean, we always need information, and we can share information with you. So part of the car community is talking to people to figure stuff out and learning. So I'm gonna spend the day probably trying to finish up the rest of this, taking the paint off of this fender. Might take some of the rest of the stuff off the engine bay. Sorry for the train, but I got our snail. This is Gary. We're gonna paint him like Gary the Snail too. It's gonna be funny. Yeah, it's got a lot of cool stuff to do. Lots of work, lots of hours, lots of blood, sweat, and tears, as they say. But it'll be cool in the end, and it'll be rolling down the road low and slow, and hopefully a little loud. So, yeah, there you go.